Continuing, it brought to mind when it said how they used the hospital as a place to run these experiments. It brought to mind the scripture in the book of Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh had made. And that's the point, this going to how he manipulated Eve into going. Well, he flattered her and put it in her mind, just like he's doing today with, how the serpent can told these women that you're equal with a man, and got to believe in it. And that little what's the word, turn upside down of the truth has fucked up the world a lot. You know what I mean? And it amazes me, like, just with my personal situation, like my children's mother, my demon. You know what I mean? She'll talk the biggest shit, cuss me the fuck out, you know what I mean? To the point I lightweight lose control of my, you know what I mean? Which, that that's when I have to check myself and rebuke myself, because I should never let this lost individual get me out of my hookup. Always does, though. That's Satan jumps on her and fucks with me all the time. But my point being, she'll talk all this shit because in her mind, this devil done made her think she's more than what she is, but relying on me to help her in every fucking facet. It is just funny, you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong, we all need help sometimes, especially in this system that's stacked up against you. Yeah. You gotta remember, they tell you that everybody's created equal here, but yet still everybody is not even put in the same situation to start off. Like, everybody doesn't start off at a certain kind of income, come out the same household. Be like everybody is in a household where you make $35,000 a year. No, you got some people that's on welfare. So when their life turns out to be, be just to fund the system, they constantly in jail, in and out of jail, or it just this. And you got people so duped in the shit though, because they so fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, people are stupid. You know what I mean? Like, and I ain't the smartest person, but I ain't fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like I said, like, you got people that just with face value take something that somebody said, didn't research shit, nothing, just, oh, he said it, so it's true. You know how many people believe what the fuck they see on TV? You could eat at McDonald's every day, right? And know how shitty McDonald's food is, but yet still see a McDonald's commercial and think that shit look good, knowing when you go in there, it ain't gonna look or taste nothing like your. I mean, they actually take the time to. That don't even be real food that be on the commercial. I ain't mean to digress. It's very upsetting. You know what I mean? Like, but my point being that made me think of, like I said, this devil used a hospital to basically do his experiments. Advanced techniques were patented in 1983 by the Children's Medical Center of Boston for brain electrical activity mapping. It's lucky I read that. In a story headed "See Y'all Tomorrow," the Washington Post in 1984 reported on the convention of the World Future Society. The author said, perhaps the most exciting stuff came from engineer James B. Bill, who simply told about what already exists that might lead us to mainlining information from one brain to another. He spoke of devices that can be placed in the eyeball to aid sight or behind the ear to stimulate hearing, pacemakers that work from outside the heart, gadgets that can induce all sorts of reactions from vomiting to laughter. And that's the part with that chip. When you take time to think about it, like, they gonna sell it like a mode of convenience, and people so lazy and dumbed down. You know what I mean? When you really, like, I got a phone, and I'm in my phone sometimes, but not to the extent like some of these people do. You'll have people walking down the street watching the phone. It showed you how fucking fucked up these people was when you had that Pokemon Go shit, and people was getting hit and falling off cliffs and dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like shit on a cartoon. And the craziest part is, they got the ability to do it just because of simple fact. Like, I was telling my demon yesterday, they had a black and white video of Jack Johnson back then. Now, they didn't supposed to have video like that back then. You know what I'm saying? But, Esau, like I said, he's ahead in technology. He like this shit that you get now with all this like this internet shit. They've been using this. Like the internet was created way like in the 70s. They released it to you guys. So just imagine what they fucking actually got for them. You know, just like with the whole like with the smart TV. I mean, oh, Satan turning up. I ain't been here in a minute. Motherfucking demons just out of control. Salakia. Anya Gair Shantam. Anya Gair Shantam by Hashem Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh, by Hashem Rachakadas. Continuing though, I ain't mean to digress. Like I said, my point being though, I could believe that these people, I mean, like I said, he said they got devices they can put behind your eyeball to aid sight. And what you think Elon Musk is trying to do now? You know what I mean? With that Neuralink. Which he probably, I mean, like I said, you got to remember, next year, yeah, a lot of shit is going to happen next year. Salakia, though. It says the body is, after all, electrochemical and is affected by the low frequency fields emanating from TV sets. For instance, hyperactive children seem to be made worse by overexposure to TV sets. The fantasy in the film Brainstorm, in which a person's mental pictures are literally transferred onto tape to be beamed into someone else's head, will be a reality soon, Bill said. This type of research has been on the front burner for, and then that made me think about a Minority Report. Remember, they was going into the psychics' brains and seeing what they were seeing, and it would come up on TV. Remember, this type of research has been on the front burner for intelligence agencies in both the West and the East, judging by information. So they show you how stranger reality is than fiction, huh? Agency in both West and East, judging by the information released about a mind control device developed by Russians Igor Smirnov and Sergei Kvasovitz at the ominously titled Department of Psychocorrection at the Moscow Medical Academy. Non-lethal weapons, including mind control researchers Janet and Chris Morris, watched a demonstration in '91 of a device that was able to analyze the contents of a person's mind, building up a picture of the mind that could be used for subliminal and other forms of corrective intervention. They said corrective intervention. Scripture came to mind. Micah 2:1 says, woe to them, this is Micah chapter 2 verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And at the end, those two men have been mentioned in a lot of chapters in this book. Through the Spirit, I might just go really research them and bring that out in a lesson at camp or something, if the Spirit allow. It says Smirnov Kovosovitz device was later demonstrated by the Morrisons to journalist David Suckman at the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, with Suckman videotaping the demonstration. He describes the equipment as being hardly impressive, simply a few pieces of computer equipment, but the results of the equipment were impressive. Chris Morris acted as a guinea pig with several electrodes taped to his head. When the equipment was activated, a computer screen came to life and displayed a succession of words. Suckman says each letter was at least 6 letters long. A few made sense, but most had the curious characteristics of nearly resembling a recognizable word. We're not quite doing so. Deanbutt, Jova Tree, Christoph, Ficknail, Bangstar. Morris stared at the screen, and the light from the screen flashed across his face, his eyes transfixed by the words. A slight furrow appeared on his brow as he struggled to interpret them in the split second before they vanished. Yet it turned out that there was another hidden layer of probing taking place as well. When we replayed our videotape several days later, we discovered that sandwiched between the visible words were other words caught on a single frame, appearing for as little as 1/6 of a second. These had a more sinister tone: armed, attack, defense, weapon. And when you really think about this and what I'm reading, basically they talking about Minority Report. This is what this is. And it makes sense too, you know what I mean? Like, because when you go into the history of it, Hollywood and the CIA you know what I mean? Like, that's why society is steeped with all this occultic and, you know what I mean? Like, man, it's just deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got motherfuckers like this place and what this shit they could tell you. Salakia. I'm going to stop here.